Hello my lovely friends. I'm out on the Shapwick Nature Reserve and can you see the swan in front of us? It's a little swan, it's a teenage swan, just down there on the right hand side, or maybe it's the left hand side for you of the screen. Anyway, she's a little bit difficult to see right now because she's swimming farther away and I really wanted to share her with you. She's having a little feed, having a little dabble around. You might be able to hear her dabbling. So, whilst you're just looking to see if you can see the swan, I'm just going to tag some friends. See who's around. I think she's swimming farther away. So these nature reserves are absolutely full of swans, and we have whole fields that are full of swans here. And it's so amazing to watch them. So I chose to come on this side, but there are hundreds of people down on the other side that are going to see the starlings, and it's just about getting finish time for the starlings. They're settling down in the reeds, I expect, but maybe some more will come this way. But I wanted to come over here so I could just tune in with you and have a little chat. This is the other side of the bridge. So this used to be an old canal here, and there used to be a railway line running along here by the canal. Oh look, there's a little duck coming out. It's getting very dark, I don't know if you can see. So all these nature reserves were a place where people, there was a whole peat community, peat digging community. And over here there's a little board that tells about the peat digging. I don't know if any of you in Glastonbury have been out here. So this tells you about the peat here. So Avalon Marshes, the peat moors, Peat Industry and railways. So it says peat has been used as a fuel for thousands of years. Commercial peat working started at Shapwick and Mere Heaths in the early 20th century, when the Eclipse Peat Company was the main extractor. So mechanisation continued until the 1950s, and the peat used to be taken away by a train that came along here. So it was a bit dramatic because that all started in the 1920s, and there you see the train crash. So it says, on the foggy morning of the 26th of August 1949, a small peat train got stuck crossing the main line. The driver ran up the track to warn the driver of the 8:05 train from Glastonbury, but he was too late. The resulting crash sent the passenger locomotive plunging into the south drain. Well, the south drain is what we were just looking at. Fortunately, there were no casualties, but the main line locomotive couldn't be lifted out in time in one piece, and was salvaged in sections. So yes, this was a little bit of a scene of drama here. The Avalon Marshes, a magical landscape. Just a few metres above the sea level, the Avalon Marshes is an intriguing and magical landscape full of history and wildlife. Early settlers lived here on small islands in the marshes. This was in Neolithic times, connected by the trackways, and those are the trackways like the I can't remember the name of it, the peat track, no, something else, that were put in by Neolithic people. So since the Roman times, ingenious minds have worked to control the water, draining the marshes for lush farmland. But it used to be all underwater, and then after the peat mines finished working, all these places were turned over to wildlife, so they became part of the wildlife sanctuary. So this map shows a kind of a large area, and you probably can't see very well, but there are lots of nature reserves. So there's Shapwick Heath and West Hay and Ham Wall, and yeah, different ones. So anyway, I just love coming out here, especially in the winter time. And we have these solemn grey skies, and there are actually lots of people that come out here. It's like, there they are, even in the dark, because it is so magical. And it's magical because of the wildlife and the mists, that misty, wet environment, and that it all used to be below sea level. And I don't know if this is where the train track used to be, just here, or on the path on the other side. So let's cross back over the little bridge, and I can see the swan still, but you probably can't see it. So let's cross back over. So you can walk for miles out here. So if you're in Glastonbury and you haven't been to the nature reserves, then I really recommend coming out here. So absolutely magical. And there's great areas of water. So I was going to sit on the seat over there, but the people are sitting there, so I'll just continue. Hi! Thank you for your hearts. Caroline, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for your hearts and your sharing. So I just wanted to share how excited I feel today after our live stream of our prayers and mantras yesterday. It was absolutely amazing to do that, and I don't know if you listened, if you spent some time listening to those prayers. They were really powerful, and the mantras, the music, and yeah, it's a first for me, because I always feel really, really nervous about singing, and no one's ever heard me really sing, and I've never decided just to sing in public. So although lots of people, thank you, Caroline, for a happy blessed new year. So there are lots of people around Glastonbury. They do the most amazing spiritual events and kirtans. It's not something that I've ever actually organised, and certainly I've never sung in any, so it was a big first for me to have the courage to sing. So yeah, it's just amazing to step up and do something, to step outside your comfort zone and do that, and it can bring so much joy to other people's hearts. Hi Draupadi, you're an amazing singer. So I don't know if you saw our little prayers last night, Draupadi, that we did and recorded and live streamed. Unfortunately the sound quality isn't that great, because we did buy a mic, a special mic, quite expensive to record it, but it wasn't the right kind to be able to pick up all the different sound levels and subtleties of the sound, so it was a bit unidirectional. So we will get a better mic. Hi, Happy New Year. because we plan to do some more of these events, and they're completely spontaneous, and they're mainly, we have lots of people that are part of Healing Water Sanctuary, the Healing Gardens, and guests that come to Healing Waters as well. Hi Vicon, is that how you say your name? Vicon J. So yeah, why I wanted to do it, and we just did it spontaneously and tried to put something together. There was no rehearsal. It's just this strong feeling I have that with everything that we've gone through in this last couple of years, it's really requiring us and calling us to anchor back into our spiritual traditions, whatever they may be, and that at the moment there's a bit of a soul death has been going on with humanity, and a soul loss. So it's a bit like we need to do a global soul retrieval. So shamanic healers everywhere, think about that. Think about how you can do that for the population, these soul retrievers. Selena, hi. Hi. So soul retrieval, and we can connect with our soul when we're out in nature. And often when I'm in nature, I do feel a really profound connection to the divine. And I brought my daughter out yesterday to watch the starlings, and as we were walking, there was just this feeling of complete awe of being in nature, a bit like being in church with the quietness and the magic and the quality of the vibration and the energy, just being out in nature. And it really was very heart-opening experience. So that's why I advise getting out as often as you can into nature. I'm going to go and sit on the seat now because the people have moved on, and that we really need to connect in with the divine, however we find the divine. I mean, how, for you watching, how do you do that? How do you get that connection with the divine, or with the sacred, or with God? We are spiritual beings, highly spiritual beings, and when we disconnect from God, it's a bit like we go through this soul death and we become robotic, or we get hooked in, we start worshipping false gods. I never grew up with any kind of religious education, so I can't quote any of that to you, but I'm sure anyone who's read the Bible will have come across passages about worship no other God but me. Maybe it was in the Ten Commandments or something. And that's what we've been worshipping, is other gods, the false light gods, the celebrities, the sports stars, the politicians, the gurus. And what I'm seeing is that a lot of those people are just drawing our energy, but it's an empty connection. So we're giving our power to them. And a lot of the spiritual teachers, that was where I found solace from, actually. There appears to be a lack of integrity in what they're doing, many of them. So it's a time of letting go of all those connections, of connecting to God through your connection with someone else, and a time to maybe connect with God directly. So how can we do that? How can we resource, keep balanced, keep nourished, and connect directly to God? How do you do it? How can we slow life down and feel our sacred connection every day, from the moment we wake to the time we go to sleep, and maybe in our dreams that we're anchored into the divine? So that's going to be my focus over the next few months, is to do some more connections like that, some more singing, to stream more videos as we do it, to invite you. Anyone can come and join us, or if you come to Healing Waters, you can come and join us. And at Healing Waters at the Sanctuary we offer amazing space for peaceful retreats, healing retreats, a time to just step out of the matrix and begin to connect with yourself and connect with what's sacred. And then the healing gardens, so working together as a community, that is extremely healing when our nervous systems can connect and join up and just feel that sense of connection with each other and doing something together. Because humans are tribal creatures. We're not meant to sit alone and feel isolated. So none of us are actually alone at this time. There are millions and millions of us on the same page. There's millions of us doing the same thing in trying to birth. I'm just going to turn the camera around. We're working together, doing amazing work. Whoops, these gadgets. There it goes. Hi, oh my God, that's bright. It suddenly put a bright light on me. So, it's much darker than this light appears. I think the camera's accommodating the low light. So, what was I saying? Short. So, that's gone completely out of my head. So we need to, that's it, yeah. So there are millions of people at this moment in time that are working towards a new reality as these old structures are falling, these old power over structures, our banking system, all the corporate world, everything that we believed in, all those kind of things, the media, it's all falling, even though it's a bit hard. People coming up the path, it feels a bit destabilising and threatening and scary, and it's like massively painful as we're squeezed and squeezed and squeezed by these really horribly coercive measures, and our freedoms are limited. But at the same time it's pushing us into actually creating a new earth with our communities, and that's what we're doing at Healing Waters at the Sanctuary. Hi. So we're creating new communities, and I think what I see is that there's going to be lots of these little communities around the world, millions and millions of interconnected communities popping up where we can really take care of our own health, our own nutrition, our own finances, means of exchange, and all that stuff that we kind of got somehow pulled out, distracted from doing life in that way, and got pulled into this whole corporations, power over kind of control system. So let's reclaim our sanctity as human beings and do things together. Let's look. Hi, Alison. Let's look at how we can do that, how we can create new means of new tribes, new connections, and have our spiritual events, times when we connect with God together as a group, as a community. And that would look very different for each one of us, because as I said in one of the prayers yesterday, God is known by many, many names, but there's only one divine, one and only true God. Whatever the name you put on God or Goddess, it's the same thing. We all know. Jane, how lovely to see you. We all know when we feel like in connection with the divine, don't we? We know when the sacred is touching our hearts. So it doesn't matter if you experience God when you're smelling a flower or watching a bumblebee, or you're chanting to Shiva, or you're praying to Jesus Christ or Allah, or following the Sufi tradition or whatever. Oh, love and hugs to you, Jane. Loads of love to you. So the main thing is for us to be able to stay in our hearts and keep connecting and building. So as I was walking along the path and thinking about this, about what's happening and how hard it's been over these last couple of years, and this feeling that things are changing now, even though they're getting harder in some ways and everything seems to be harsher, that there's a shift in energies. And this shows up in the astrologer. I'm not an astrologer, but from what I've heard, this year is going to be about strength, and it's about how we need to give a final push. And it's more, there's going to be a lot more movement and people pushing back. If you watch my Telegram channel, and I'll put the link underneath here, there's so much stuff going on that as soon as, if I put it on Facebook, it will be instantly banned, because you can't say certain words because the algorithms just wipe them out again and ban you. But I've posted millions of things, not millions, but lots of things on my Telegram channel, and last night I posted about massive rallies around the world. Everywhere people are standing in the streets and pushing back, and so many lawyers around the world are taking out legal actions. There's so much going on, incredible amount going on. It's really, hi Angela, it's really inspiring. So if you were to join my Telegram channel, then you would see all the links to what's happening, all the people around the world that are doing incredible things right now. So I was thinking as I was walking along the path, this whole process of birthing a new reality, a new earth, has been a bit like giving birth, and that in the first year was a bit like stage 1 of labour, that you're in the womb and the cervix is closed and it's like you're getting squeezed and there's more and more contractions, and it's really, will I ever get out of here? Am I going to die in this situation? Will my mother die? It's absolutely awful. And then the cervix starts to open, and just as you feel like there's some freedom happening, then you come up against the pelvis, the hard bones of the mother's pelvis. And in prenatal terms we talk about that as being, it's a bit like being between a rock and a hard place, as you hit your mother's pubic bone and big bones of the pelvis, the sacrum. And then it's like, oh my God, which way do I turn? Because you have to consciously think, as a birthing baby, which way to turn your head. You have to work it out, how to get through the mother's pelvis. So like year 2 of this whole lockdown crazy stuff was like, what do? We thought we were trapped and we thought we were going to get out, and now just as we felt we were moving, now we can't get anywhere, and it's like really confusing and awful. So it feels like, Angela, hi. Well, you say good morning, where are you? So like that's what the last year's been like, and now it feels like like we went through transition, like this feeling like we're never going to do this. And if you've ever given birth, transition is a really very challenging time. It just feels like you're exhausted, you're never going to get through, nothing can ever change. And now it feels like we've come through transition and we're at the stage of the big push. So it's going to take a lot of energy, a lot of focused work, but there's movement, and we're moving towards the emergence of a new earth. So my battery's going to run out any second. So if it suddenly goes blank, that's what's happened. So we all have to do this big push together, and that means building our communities, anchoring into the sacred, the divine, however you experience that, taking care of our bodies, taking back power. You're in California, how wonderful. Oh, bless you. Taking back your power for your health care. You don't need to have an expert, not an expert, but you know, someone that's making money out of your body to tell you what to do. Like, our immune systems know how to heal our bodies. And the earth is filled with healing herbs and plants and fresh air and opportunities to exercise and do all sorts of things to take care of our own health and connection. When we connect with other people and we calm the nervous system, then that actually turns off cortisol, so we're not stressed, and we start to heal. So all of these amazing things that humans have known for centuries, we've given our power away on. So now we can take it back, and this is the time of the new earth, the awakening, that we can take back power and control of our own lives. Doesn't that sound wonderful? So even if things are terrible and scary and stressful for you, let's start together and do that. So, hi Marie. Hi. So if you ever want to email me or contact me, you can find me very easily, Healing Waters. I've got a website, healing-waters, in Glastonbury in England, or there's julietyelverton.com, where I share about my trauma healing work. And there's the Healing Gardens Co-op in Glastonbury. So there's lots of ways to connect with me and to share knowledge, and we're here to support each other. Whoa, what's that? I hope nobody's shooting anything. That would be really sad. Anyway, let's be quiet for a moment, and the camera might die, but let's just be quiet and listen as the sun is almost gone. Just listen to the birds. So silence is really good. So just taking a moment to settle into your hearts. And just hear all of nature settling now. Birds are having their last conversation as they settle down to bed. So it's so peaceful. So I'm going to sign off, and do just go down a little bit and listen to the prayers and mantras that I did yesterday for the protection. You know, building that spiritual power is so important, and we really, really need to protect our children at this time, as they're very vulnerable. There's lots of bad things have been happening to our children. And when we build the true light, I can hear owls. When we build the true light and that divine connection, that is really powerful and makes a difference. So do listen to the prayers and mantras. And apologies for the quality of the sound on some of the... But I'll get there. I'll do my best to make it really beautiful for you. So blessings on you, my dear friends. Be well. Be nourished. Know that you're not alone. God is with you. You are a part of God. You are divine. And we can do this. We are birthing the new earth together. I love you. And bye for now. Do share my video to help others. And bye for now.